Hi there, my darling Aquarians. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your reading for the week of May the 19th, 2025. So, my darling Aquarians, we're just going to jump right in and start off with an overarching energy using the Moonology manifestation cards. Then we'll move on to my 3-card spread using my tarot cards here and then finishing off with angel answer cards. All right, my darling Aquarians, what messages do you need to know for this week of the 19th of May? Let's see what we have for you. Assess the situation. First quarter moon in Virgo. Okay, so could be some situation around you this week, my darling Aquarians, where you need to just stop and, before you make a decision, before you move forward, stop and think, assess the situation for what it is. So let's get further info. Let us consult the tarot and see what messages we have coming in for you, my darling Aquarians. What does Aquarius need to know for this week? Five of Cups. Eight of Swords. King of Pentacles. Okay. Make sure they're all in view for you, my darling Aquarians. All right, so what I'm going to do is give you the meaning of each of the cards, and then I will intuitively put the reading together for you. So you start off here with the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups in the tarot, it's a card of wallowing in disappointment, my darling Aquarians. So I feel for you this week that you just need to get out of this energy. It's a card also of, needing to be grateful for what you do have, not for what you don't have. In the traditional tarot, there's three cups here that have spilt. They've been turned over, and this person, it's a he, is just looking at them, what isn't there any longer. But if he turned around, he could see that there are 2 cups upright that are still full. Those 2 cups represent potential. There is still potential there for the person. So, and in this depiction, it's like, okay, 3 have fallen off the tree here, but there's still 2 there. There's still 2 that are alive, my darling Aquarian. So I feel for you, this is letting you know to focus on what you still have, my darling Aquarians. That's what I feel this Five of Cups is telling you. Don't wallow in what hasn't worked out. Be grateful for what you do have. Be in an attitude of gratitude, my darling Aquarians. That's the solution of the Five of Cups, is to be grateful for what you do have, not for what you don't have. And I know it can be hard if you feel that you don't have anything to be grateful for, but there are little things that you can be grateful for. Be grateful that you woke up this morning. It's one thing. Be grateful that you had a roof over your head, that you had a bed to sleep in, that you have food in your fridge. Be grateful. Start to think of every little thing to be grateful for, and you will find more to be grateful for, my darling Aquarians. That's the law of attraction in action, and that's what I write about and my course is about and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so yes, I feel off the Five of Cups, you just need to be grateful for what you do have, because I feel that you have a lot to be grateful for, even if you can't see it right now, my darling Aquarians. Then you have the Eight of Swords here. Now, the Eight of Swords is all about self-imposed restriction, my darling Aquarians. It is, I'm sorry, I was listening to a message. It is about, releasing yourself from self-sabotage. Because you can see on this card here, she's in this cage, but the cage is open. She could easily, get herself out of this cage and release herself from this cage that's here. The cage represents self-imposed restriction. The cage represents what is holding her back, what she can't see, my darling Aquarians. But like I said, she could easily get out of that cage and release herself from that self-imposed restriction. And I feel that that's important for you this week because it's coming up with the Five of Cups here. You are feeling that you can't move forward, that you're being held back. But I feel that this is self-sabotage, my darling Aquarius. And I'm sorry if that's a harsh thing for you to hear, but I do feel that this is self-inflicted. You know, you can move out of this energy if you want to, my darling Aquarians, and I feel that you must in order to move forward. You know, with the assess the situation card, I feel more off this as I'm going along and as I'm, you know, receiving the messages. I feel that this has happened in the past, but you have the potential to turn this around, my darling Aquarians, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just feel that this is self-imposed restriction here. Another thing I'm drawn to on this card, and I'm sorry I didn't see it, didn't say it at the time, but there's this water here. And what's important is for you to get out of the cage and step into the flow, because this is the flow of life, my darling Aquarians. So, you know, that's the other part of the Eight of Swords is, you know, don't wallow in this self-pity, self-disappointment energy. Be grateful for what you do have, because you do have things to be grateful for, my darling Aquarians. I'm sure you can find something to be grateful for. Like I said, you woke up this morning. Is that not something to be grateful for? Yes, it is. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Now, I feel this King of Pentacles, I feel that this is you, my darling Aquarians. I feel that this is the energy of who you want to be, my darling Aquarians. You want to be able to be, you know, have your beautiful home. You want to be able to be in that feeling of having everything that you want. You want to be in that feeling of having your material realm be stable and secure. But I feel that, you know, what's been happening here is that something has gone wrong that's caused you to sort of spiral, my darling Aquarians, spiral into a energy of doom and gloom, you know, self-imposed restriction, not being able to get yourself out of the downward spiral, my darling Aquarians. But I do feel that if you can take a step back, assess the situation, as you know, this card says, because the King of Pentacles and this first quarter moon in Virgo, it's earth energy. So you're being encouraged to step out of, like I said, take a step back, release yourself from this self-imposed restriction here, you know, be grateful for what you do have and step into the flow here, which will allow you to then start to embody the energy of the King of Pentacles, stable, secure. You know, being stable and secure in your financial situation here, because I do feel this is a financial situation just with the Pentacles here. But look, take it how it resonates. If it's not, then it's going to be different for everybody. But I do feel it's more you feeling lack here in the material realm. Not good enough, my darling Aquarians. And I'm really encouraging you to move out of that energy. And you can. You can release yourself. Like I said, take a step back, assess the situation. You know, sometimes when you just take a step back, you will be able to clear your head. Go for a walk. You know, I find I work out. I do an hour of, they call it body pump. Whenever I've got a problem, I work out, and what happens is during my workout, I work out what it is that I need to do, where do I need to go, what action I need to take. And I feel that that would benefit you to either go for a walk, you know, do something to you that puts you out of your head, my darling Aquarians. And I just feel that that will then propel you forward and give you the clarity to be able to get out of this situation that you feel that you're stuck in, my darling Aquarians. So yeah, big energies for you this week, my darling Aquarians. So if you're enjoying the reading so far, please do give it a thumbs up for me. Drop me a comment below. I am very active and interactive in the comments, and I'd love to know, you know, if this resonates with you and, you know, what you got going on. And please help my channel to thrive by subscribing. It really does help my channel grow. All right, let me see what final messages we have for you, my darling Aquarians. Yeah, look for a sign, 100%. And that is all part of taking a step back, because that then opens you up. You know, you could go for a walk and see a feather on your path, or a coin or something like that. That's the start. That's the sign, my darling Aquarians. If you believe, they say, yes, you got to believe to receive, my darling Aquarians. Compromise, yeah, there may be something that you need to compromise. There's the scales of balance there. Within the next few months, they say, there's something better. Yes, there is. I can already see it. I can already feel it, my darling Aquarians. So if you'd like to follow this up with a personal reading, the first link in the description will take you to my website. I do think there is definitely some more clarity you need here, and I'd love to be able to drag that out, get to the bottom of what, you know, what is a bit murky at the moment for you, my darling Aquarians. But, you know, I think change in direction will just help you. A change of perspective would really help you this week, my darling Aquarians. Don't click away just yet. I would love to give you the details of my Tarot for Manifestation course. Did you know your tarot deck holds the key to unlocking your dream life? But most people aren't using it to its full potential when it comes to manifestation. I'm Becca L. Hart, and if you loved my book, Tarot and the Law of Attraction, get ready for the next step. I've created a powerful mini course, Tarot for Manifestation, a step-by-step guide to creating your dream life. In just a short time, you'll learn how to use tarot as a manifestation tool to attract love, success, abundance, whatever you desire. I'll guide you through the exact process to turn your tarot readings into a manifestation powerhouse. You'll discover how to align your energy, program your subconscious, and work with your cards to create real results. But spaces for this are limited, and I don't want you to miss out. If you're ready to take your manifestation practice to the next level, click the link below now and join me inside. Let's make magic happen.